Hello everyone, welcome to Sure Learning. This video is about identifying special education needs students, that is SEND students part 2. If you haven't watched part 1 yet, click on the link above to watch it. Let's start with revisiting what we learned in a previous video. We learned about parameters of identifying SEND students, areas of development, learning disabilities and non-verbal learning disabilities. Today we will be discussing intellectual disabilities. Neurodevelopment disorders that often begin in childhood are characterized as intellectual difficulties as well as difficulties in conceptual, social and practical areas of living.
Some of the symptoms that can be observed in the child with neurodevelopmental disorders are they learn and develop at a slower pace than the other children of the same age. Understanding or following social rules or cues is difficult for them. They face difficulty in planning or following schedules or routines. They find it difficult to control or regulate their emotions and behaviors. An effective way to check if the students have this disorder is by taking an IQ test. On an average, students have an IQ between 85 to 115. IQ range less than 70 is supposed to be an intellectual disability. We can further categorize IQ below 70 as mild intellectual disability, below 60 as moderate intellectual disability, below 50 as severe intellectual disability. Let's discuss some of the intellectual disability disorders. First is Down syndrome.
Down syndrome is a genetic disorder caused when abnormal cell division results in full or partial copy of chromosome 21. This extra genetic material causes in developmental changes and facial features of Down syndrome.
Some of the very visible signs of Down syndrome are flat facial features, small head and atypically shaped ears, bulging tongue, eyes that slant upward, poor muscle tone, slow learning capabilities, poor vision. ADHD, Attention Deficit Hyperactivity Disorder.
A neurodevelopment disorder that includes a combination of persistent problems such as hyperactivity, difficulty in sustaining attention, and impulsive behavior.
Some of the visible signs are being unable to sit still, especially in calm or quiet surroundings, constantly fidgeting, excessive physical movement or incessant talking, interrupting conversations, little or no sense of danger. Autism.
A neurodevelopmental disorder of variable severity that is characterized by difficulty in social interaction and communication and by restricted or repetitive thoughts of pattern and behavior.
Some of the symptoms are poor eye contact, lack of communication and lack of social skills, repetitive behavior, self-talking, difficulty in paying attention, avoids or rejects physical contact. Challenges in SEND students.
Parent approach. Once in a while you come across a child who is specially abled, but interacting with his or her parents is a challenging task, especially if the parents have closed mindset like my child is fine. On the other hand, there are also parents who are understanding and want your guidance in improving the child's condition. In both the cases, make sure that you are empathetic, logical and reasonable in your interaction. Understand parents' sentiments and communicate accordingly.
Expectations of organization. It becomes very difficult to focus on specially abled children when you have a class of 40 to 50 students and you have your own syllabus to complete. In such circumstances, taking the counselor's support and guidance is of prime importance. You can take the parents into confidence and guide them to provide an extra hand for the student's academic growth.
Beliefs and mindsets. We often tend to mislabel the child. Symptoms that I mentioned earlier can also be the ways of drawing attention towards themselves, especially if the child is feeling neglected. Ensure the necessary tests and the observations by the counselors are done before concluding that the child may suffer from any disorder.
Do's and don'ts of identifying SEND students. Do's: get to know your students and their background, set up target communication and participation goals, use a consistent routine and more of visuals, use response card or other interactive strategies. Don'ts: never label the child. You should not always isolate the children from the class group. Don't assume the student can't participate. Always try to include in all the activities. Don't let one bad day eliminate all the future participation.
If you found this video informational, subscribe to us and stay ahead in profession. Happy teaching!